Hey, 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 welcome back, Blotto Scruffs. Welcome back to Blotto Beatles, the show where a few friends have a few drinks and usually discuss or rank a single Beatles song. But tonight's a little different. We are dropping another chaser on you. It's another Extrasode. And this one is to celebrate, as you recently heard, our 1 year anniversary. It's been 1 year of Blotto in your lives.
Yeah.
You are welcome. You are welcome. And I am in the virtual Abbey Road tonight, as always, with my good friend and co-host, Becker. What is up tonight, my friend?
Hey, bud. How are you?
I'm doing very well. It was lovely to see you and your family this weekend. Catch up with you, catch up with Scotty.
Very nice.
And speaking of him, the man in behind the glass here, the virtual producer of the virtual Abbey Road, the man in the cloud himself, the Sir George Martin of New England himself, Scotty C. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, man. I was hoping you had the foghorn back for that 1 year celebration thing.
Know.
But
Yeah, I saw his family. They took it away from him, actually.
It was a one-time affair. So, guys, we're here tonight. I don't want to waste any time. We're very efficient always here, and we're here tonight to do one thing. We've talked over the last year about this list that we've made, the canonical, the argument-ending list that is the Blotto Beatles ranking, right? We have, at this point in time, put 26 songs on that list as we've listened to them to try and figure out what we think,
Nearly
the best.
the entirety of the Beatles catalog.
Yeah, we're going through it, and it's hard to argue with perfection that we've done. But, in talking to you guys, it felt like there were a couple moments where maybe you would have taken some things back. I think probably moments where you would have agreed with me more than you had previously. And I wanted to honor that. I wanted you to feel like you were right by agreeing with me. And so we're going to run a veto special tonight. Okay. I'm very excited about this. It's going to be hopefully a pretty quick one. We're going to all agree and we're going to get into it. Scotty, you got something you want to add there?
I just thought Blotto vetoes.
I gotta be honest. I mean, I never saw this episode coming, or this notion, and we agreed on it sort of outside of the episodes or whatever. But the list is sort of taking on a life of itself, and it's such a fickle thing that we took on that you proposed this idea, and it's I think fantastic to have this sort of little leveling that maybe we revisit every year.
So basically, we have kind of commented here, there, and everywhere that maybe a song or two should be shifted, right? So this evening, we've all done our homework. We've gotten down to it. I've got kind of a novel written. We've all picked one song, and we're going to defend a move that we want to suggest to the other two members. Once we've each made a case for our individual songs, we're going to have a group vote here. I think we're going to do some level of secret balloting to come to a consensus, and no one can vote for his own pick, obviously. And if we can get 2 votes in the direction of one of these suggestions, one and one only, the list will be altered. We will move a song tonight, either up or down. I don't know which way songs are going to go tonight, but I'm kind of excited about it.
The hardcore fans, I mean, they may be betrayed by this move, but
I know.
I feel good about it, and I feel like we have a little bit of like a reconciliation here for at least one Beatles track,
or at least one Beatle himself, if you will. We'll see where the list takes us. So we're going to start. We don't even know right now the order of events here. We don't know who's going to go first, but gentlemen, I've got the magic wheel here.
Whoa!
I'm gonna spin the wheel for us.
See it?
Do you see that in front of you? You guys see a wheel? So we got all our names on this wheel, and off we are.
Oh, this is fun.
Gets the first pick.
Don't pick me.
Oh man, I am so honored. I never win anything.
All right. So before you go, we're gonna find out who's going second and third here.
In another step of brilliant podcasting, Tommy has...
You get to go twice,
I also have won second place that I get to go twice.
We're going to do that one more time.
In a brilliant bit of visual podcasting, Tommy has made a beautiful wheel that he is spinning here in front of all of us. Really a lot of time has gone into this.
3 times.
All right, so Becker's going 3 times as of right now.
This thing needs a little oil.
Yeah. I weighted it towards you. All right, there we go. Scotty C. Scotty C gets the second pick, which means I'm third. I'm the anchor.
The headliner.
But yeah, I'm the headliner of this show. So, but like I said, you guys are just going to be throwing up suggestions that I already made in the voting anyway. So
I like to middle. When I was in a band, I like to play in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a prime spot.
Yeah.
Scotty's got it, is what I'm saying.
I got it. I'm prime time.
So Becker, you ready? You want to preamble it all here before we get right down to it? You got anything else you want to say?
No, I think, did we cover that you were saying that we get 2 minutes of argumenting?
You get 2 minutes of time on the clock, and I have set the timer appropriately for that, and you can't go over that 2 minutes.
Yep.
You can maybe yield some time if you wanted, but I'm
not yielding you guys any time. I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna filibuster this.
Listen, why are you such an opponent of democracy? I've never understood this.
No, I mean, I think you said everything in the upfront, really, that, it's funny. The list has been sort of like a fickle thing. And it wasn't, right? We started the podcast, we're like, we're going to get drunk and rank Beatles songs. And then the list sort of has its own life in a way, because it's not exactly landing where I thought everything would be.
You've got 10 seconds left.
This is not my time.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
But it's been funny because we've been trying to book guests, and we need to we need to record in order, which has kind of been a funny thing, right? If we could just record guests whenever they're willing to be around, it would make things a little bit easier. And then there's just the case where I start each episode feeling like I'm going to plead my case a certain way, and then I just get drunk, and I'm either not able to form my argument, or I'm also like, I need to end this episode because I just can't talk anymore, and I'm drunk and I need to order pizza. So it's funny. And that's why I'm glad you proposed this episode, because I think it really gives us a chance to,
I do want to remind everyone to use code BeckerZa on Grubhub.com and you get that free slice with an order.
Just give you one slice, right?
Just
right on top. Right on top.
Just a Lucy. Just a Lucy.
Any flavor. Every flavor.
A Lucy slice.
I do find I get enamored with our guests too. And
that's a good point. That's a really good point.
And I love our guests, and that's why I get enamored with them, because they come on and they have these great emotional stories. And a part of that, you look the next week and you're like, we went there.
Yeah, that's a really good point, because guests come on and they've picked a track, and up until they're recording their episode, we don't really know why they picked until they start telling us. But you have a feeling that they came to pick and talk about something that they have a connection to or are passionate about. So even if my initial response is like, this is my favorite Beatles tune, I do get swayed in the moment, So this, again, is a little bit of a level setting session. So I'm ready to go.
We're not going to go too deep on the list now. We will review it if we get to make a change or not. At the end, we'll go over the whole thing and kind of where things stand.
And the list is always available at blottobeatles.com.
That is true.
We have an ongoing Spotify list. I actually, for preambling just a little bit more, I listened to the entire list today as it stands, which I thought was a nice. The flow is pretty good. This could be like the Beatles' Yellow album, that we've been from the last episode. We had the blue, we got the red. Blotto Beatles would put out the yellow double discer. Maybe it's this, but
I don't know why they never completed the primary colors.
Do you think that was the vision?
I thought that was the full vision, but who knows?
Does the playlist just keep getting worse? That's the idea, right?
It's like the B-side of any good record.
Yeah. All right, sir, we have 2 minutes on the clock. Are you ready?
I'm going to try.
All right. As soon as you say your first word, I'm going to hit start.
All right. I am into telling you guys what track I think should get shifted in this evening's Chaser episode. So I approached a couple of thoughts when I dove into this. One is Happiness is a Warm Gun should be rated higher in our list. So that one I wanted to make a point for. For me, I reflected on this and ranking the Beatles episode that just came out last week, is that Good Day Sunshine is a product for me of a very off week where I really turned on that song. And ultimately, I think I should have treated it better. And despite sort of this intoxicating connection that Ranking the Beatles did with I've Just Seen a Face, I think that Good Day Sunshine is a better song than that. But that's not the case I want to make tonight. The case I want to make for you, my brothers in Blotto, is that Long, Long, Long is probably misrepresented in our list. And I think it's a really, really unfortunate one because I love this tune. I really do. But right now we have it on our list at
It's number 4.
Fourth place.
4.
Third place, no?
Fourth place.
Fourth place. And while I love this song and I love the way that it got there, I believe that it ultimately needs to get shifted. I don't think that we are going to land in a world where Long, Long, Long is sort of in the top 25 of Beatles songs. And so I would like to shift this just slightly to right between Nowhere Man and I've Just Seen a Face. I think that I love this tune and it's really great, but it's sort of suffering a little bit from this was the second episode that we did. And I think we really became enamored with this tune in a way that maybe isn't representative of like a top 10 Beatles track. And speaker, I yield my time to the great executive producer of North America, Scotty C.
And time.
Oh, boy, that's so sharp.
Wow. Okay. I can't, I want to react so much, but I think we need to wait until our votes and our maybe a group discussion of some sort about these cases.
Yeah.
But that was, that's a landmark pick. I'm going to say that.
No one saw that coming? I almost thought that was going to be unanimous.
Wow. All right. Scotty C, are you prepared? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
Let me
as soon as you start.
Yeah. Okay. That's how you're going to do it.
Do you have anything first?
Nope. I just wanted to kind of do a...
All right. As soon as you start, I will go.
Okay. The list, like they said, has pulled on our emotions based on guests, based on our night, based on our drinks. And I have no idea what happened this night. But we have Fool on the Hill at number 8. And it has rock blocked so many good tracks, I feel like. How is Day Tripper not as good as Fool on the Hill, or any of the ones below it? Fixing a Hole for No One is definitely better than Fool on the Hill. I wanted to put it the same spot that Becker picked, between I've Just Seen a Face and Nowhere Man. I do not think that Fool on the Hill, and I think that it's partially because that was one of the first Paul sort of orchestral sort of things, and I don't know what happened that night, but we put it way the hell up there, and nothing. And I have no idea how nothing could get past it. But then She's Leaving Home shows up, and I'm like, She's Leaving Home, Fool on the Hill, and For No One's like 4 down from it. I'm like, For No One's better than Fool on the Hill. I like I like all these songs. We know that, but I'm not happy with where it sits right now. I think it keeps kind of stopping the list from being truthful because it's just like a weird spot and a weird pick and a weird spot, and that's all I really got to say about that.
Wow. Yielding 25 seconds. You guys are going hard here. I will say this. I don't know if I'm bringing the level this evening that y'all are. And again, I'm really excited to talk about this, but and reflect a little bit, but I'm going to go instead. All right. So I'm starting right now. All right, gentlemen. We've been called a lot of things in the last year. But one of those things is a podcast that hates Paul McCartney. And I want to talk about that a little bit, all right? I was ready to come in and talk about She's Leaving Home and say I think it deserves a higher place. And then when Becker and I were talking the other day, he called it schmaltzy. So I knew I wasn't getting his vote on that one.
And then I was thinking, off the mic on that?
Yeah, off the mic.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And... I was thinking more about it, and Scott, I totally agree with you. How is Fool on the Hill better than For No One? I totally agree with you, which is why I am going to suggest, for this reason, that For No One moves up above Because, between Long, Long, Long and Because. I think For No One, everything we faulted Paul for, for being disingenuous, for writing these story songs about other people, for not kind of telling his truth. In For No One, he is getting out there and being like, I've lost this love and I almost don't really care. And Scott, your wife was on that episode, and Sam brought up this wonderful point that the Beatles and Paul McCartney in this song makes the idea of falling out of love as beautiful as falling in love in that song. And I think we get some of the best Paul there. It's honest, it is real, and it does have some of the band in it. And that's kind of one of the things we fault Paul for too, right? That like, you know, maybe he only has the orchestra. And I know it's not this full piece like we want it to be in this full band thing, but I think it's everything we always ask for in a Paul McCartney song. It's all the things we're usually looking for in a Paul McCartney song. And if we're going to say we like Paul McCartney songs at some point, we have to talk about the ones that he likes writing. And he likes these slower ballad songs. This is what he's here to bring. And I think this is an early to mid Paul. He's starting to figure things out, and he's starting to talk about himself, and he's being real and authentic. And that is my time.
Wow. That was, I love that we were texting ahead of time of this, and we're like, what if we all picked the same tune? We're all so dramatically different here.
I do want to say, I thought everyone was going to pick I've Just Seen a Face and say it should be a little lower.
Oh,
No, that's fine where it is, I think.
yeah. I think it's exactly fine. I was in that episode. That's good talking about a guest episode. I was intoxicated by Ranky the Beatles telling us their story about it, because they have a great relationship story. They have a great relationship, and they have a great relationship story about that tune. So that got me in the moment. But I think it should hold tight where it is. Wow.
So here's my question about our
We're
next
all over
step.
the place.
Initially, I said we were just going to vote. I do want to have some level of discussion. And I don't know if right now we want to do that before we throw our votes out there and come to an agreement. But does anyone have a question they want to ask someone else, or a comment they want to make?
I will.
I have a statement. For No One is not better than Because. That's crazy talk.
I'm with you on that one. But you did say that you think She's Leaving Home should be higher, and then you put For No One above it.
Yeah, because I didn't think you guys were going to vote for She's Leaving Home to go higher. I thought I had a better chance of going for No One. And I think, you know, the more I think about it, I do think that For No One is a better song than She's Leaving Home. And I think I would have voted for that in the moment if For No One was higher on the list. Do you know what I mean? Like there's always this little bit of course correction where you're like, well, it's definitely better than that song, but it's not better than this song that's lower than the song that I thought it was better than, like as you're creating the list in the moment. So there's always something a little out of whack.
I also need to take a little bit of...
Can you not vote for anybody's thing?
I mean, Tommy, I told you that schmaltzy thing in confidence over a couple of private drinks. I can't believe you're sharing that with our audience.
Listen.
I mean, come on, you know. She's Leaving Home is one of the worst songs on Sgt. Pepper's.
No, it's not.
Apparently it's better than Fixing a Hole.
I was swayed in the moment for that one, but Colin D makes some persuasive arguments.
He does.
Mixes.
I think he's going to be really upset with us that none of us chose to put In My Life higher than Happiness Is a Warm Gun.
Oh yeah, he did make that argument. I forgot
Yeah.
about that. Well, I did say that I would be off the project if Happiness moved. So,
All right, guys.
I think we should try voting.
All right, I think so too. I'm gonna put my vote down on the paper here, and then we're all
Just
gonna
write the-
hold them up.
The song title or the person?
I put the person.
All right. And you have to vote, huh? All right.
Yep.
You can't vote for yourself.
Can't
Right.
vote for yourself.
I know I would, but
Ready?
Most
Set.
handsomest
Go.
Blotto.
Scotty wins 2 votes to 1. I get snubbed. Becker gets a vote for the terrible long pick.
I read
Becker and
Scotty's
I-
name with that cool S that we learned
Yeah.
like in 4th grade. Like
Yeah,
that
that, like-
BDS.
Yeah, sharp S.
Yeah.
So we are moving. Scott, remind me again. We are moving.
it's moving like 7 slots, I think.
Yeah, that's big movement. That's big shuffling on the list.
So wait.
I put it between Nowhere Man and I've Just Seen a Face.
Fool on the Hill. I'm cutting out of here. and we're putting it between Nowhere Man and I've Just Seen a Face. Wow.
Can I say what my option B was? Can we do that? Is that
Yeah,
fun?
we all did come up with an option B. And that was just in case someone else picked your tune. We wanted to have 3 choices to discuss here. So, yeah, Scott, what was your option B?
My option B was to move All My Loving up. I think All My Loving is far better than it's ranked right now.
You know what? It's funny because all the things people are talking about involve songs I was thinking about. My option B was I was going to move I've Just Seen a Face below All My Lovin'. You know what I mean? A little bit of balance that way.
I think we're all flirting with that a little bit, right? Like I wanted to move Good Day Sunshine up just a little bit above I've Just Seen a Face. Like that's not a dramatic shift, but you know, as we keep adding songs and moving stuff around, there's stuff I wanted to sort of jockey into position that felt like it still had a chance that we were talking about it, you know. And at the end of this, do we end up with a list that looks sort of like the fan accepted top Beatles, you know, top 25, top 50 Beatles songs, or are we in such a crazy space because the way we're doing this and ranking them as they go and sliding them in the moment, and hopefully making this type of show an annual. You know, next year we're going to be talking about 52 songs and what should be moving, right? And making a big argument then. So,
and are you going to pitch this long junk again next year? Is that what you think?
Here's the thing: whether it happens now or happens later, I'm going to predict that long is slowly going to, you know, slither out of the top 10, and it's going to slither out of the top 25. I mean, it is a great song, and I came around it in a different way. Like that was the first song in this podcast. It was the second song we did as an episode. It was the first song in this podcast that has really stuck with me and changed the way that I think about a Beatles tune. You know, I'd go to the episode, listen to it if you haven't heard our take on it. I'm not going to belabor that point, but I've listened to it a handful of times since, and I think about it way differently. But also that song, I've had multiple people listen to this podcast who are not Beatles fans. First of all, they're the Beatles knowledgeable, and they were like, what is that song? I don't even know what it is.
Yeah.
But I'm also, you know, the fact that we're ranking these tunes by feeling is better than anything else. Like we could all sit together and write a list in a room and say, these are our top Beatles songs, and you know, that would be a great thing, and we would all be accurate and it would be fun. But it is way more fun to get drunk off your head and spout some shit about where you think these songs should land.
I love that you guys came hard tonight. I thought these were 2 excellent picks. I thought, you know, I think I was the weak link coming out actually in what was going on
Tommy.
Well, I mean, I got no votes, so clearly.
What was your option B, Tommy?
Mine was move I've Just Seen a Face down below All My Lovin'.
Oh, yeah.
That maybe would have got more of a vote from me than
I feel like below All My Loving, like the bottom part of our list is pretty. I didn't have anything really to complain about there.
No.
I mean, it wasn't my B pick, but like Martha, My Dear might be a little low. You know, like in the grand scheme of things, we might, you know, when I think about the progression of the list, like we might be easing Martha, My Dear out, and it's a pretty good Paul tune.
Yeah, but I mean, is it better than Nowhere Man?
No.
All right, then what the hell are you talking about?
Probably in the right spot.
But it's the ones I just don't want to see this fall by the wayside. Like I don't want to end this being like, oh, that got like pushed down to 201 or something. Just the way that we're doing it is so funky. I had not thought about it in the way until we started actually having to make the list, and we got to our top 10, and I was like, oh, you know, long stuck around in like the number 1 position for a while, and I just had no idea, you know.
Oh, I wonder if Happiness is beating it out for longest at number 1 yet. Then we might be there. I think we probably are at this point, right?
Stats guy.
I think so. I think Happiness is probably held
number 1 slot longest.
I mean, it's going to be a bold move for anyone to come in, and not just because I've made a bunch of jokes and tried to bully everyone into sort of what the top place is, but it will be interesting for one of you guys to throw down like this is a number 1 contender, because we've gotten close. We've gotten really close.
Yeah.
In my life, I think we were talking that could have been a top contender. I'm not sure.
I'm So Tired kind of gotten in the mix a little bit as well. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, certainly I put that way up there. You know, I mean, there is
the reason why they're up there. Yeah.
Yeah. A pretty strong parallel path where, you know, you could make the argument for Happiness or I'm So Tired. I mean, these are iconic.
So with that said, guys, I think I'd love to just run down the list. Do you think I should go bottom to top at this point or top to bottom? I mean, how do you guys dress?
I put on a belt, and then I do.
You want me to go middle out?
I start dancing.
Scotty, produce me. Top to bottom or bottom to top?
I think let's go from the bottom to the top.
All right. So right now, friends, at number 26, we've got I'm Happy Just to Dance With You. And number 25, next up, A Taste of Honey.
A taste of honey.
Then we've got All Together Now.
Tasting.
Then
Much sweeter.
Sweeter. Yep.
Then wine.
So, 24 was All Together Now. 23 is Act Naturally. 22 is Don't Bother Me. 21 is Baby It's You. Sha la 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 la. 22 is What You're Doing. Am I still on target with my numbers here? Next, we've got Tell Me Why. Then
Counting
Freeze
down
a
is
Bird.
hard.
It is. Well, they're one off on a spreadsheet, you know? Like the numbers aren't right. Then we have Martha, My Dear. And then
Sam Wiles there pitching in for that one.
I know that was a good episode. Then, you know, this was our first episode. We did, and you know, it is. I think you guys are right, coming in at 16 right now. All My Lovin' feels low because that's just such an iconic Beatles song.
It's also just an awesome song.
15, Good Day Sunshine, which Becker thinks should be higher. 14, I've Just Seen a Face, which I think should be lower. 13, we've got Fool on the Hill now, the new number 13, lucky number 13, thanks to Scotty C. Number 12, Nowhere Man.
I'm a winner.
Number 11, I've Got a Feeling. That was our episode with our first guest, our good bud Mike Mazzaros.
Yep.
Number
and a great
10,
track. I stand by that track.
I do too. Number 10, we've got For No One. Should probably be higher. Number 9, we've got Fixin' a Hole from Sgt.
No
Pepper's.
editorializing.
Number 8, Day Tripper. Number 7, You've Got to Hide Your Love Away. Notice I didn't finish writing the title of the song on that one on the spreadsheet. That says something about my state of mind on that episode.
Yeah.
Number 6, She's Leaving Home. Then we get in the top 5 here. You guys ready for this? Coming in at number 5, from Abbey Road, the John Lennon song, Because. Coming in at number 4, still there, still strong, from the White Album, George Harrison's Long, Long, Long. Number 3 from the White Album, we're in a White Album block right now, the John Lennon song, I'm So Tired. Coming in at number 2 from Rubber Soul, another John tune, In My Life. And then, sitting at number 1, longest standing number 1 song for the Blotto Beatles list, We Believe. Happiness is a Warm Gun from the White Album. That is the list, everybody. That's where it stands now and for the next year, you know, and then we'll be slotting songs in every other week or so, moving on from here. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to let people know again that list is always available at blottobeatles.com. We are maintaining a Spotify playlist where we add the tune in every week, so you can follow that list and stay on top of our changes there. I think it's actually a pretty fun way to put 2 hours of Beatles on your playlist if that's something you're getting into and you don't want to listen to an album. So check us out on there for sure.
I want to maybe apologize, and I'm not trying to do an apology necessarily, but maybe I could or should. Maybe I didn't pick some of the strongest Paul songs. In regards to, I know I didn't pick 2 of the 3 highest John songs, but you know, Paul has a bunch of strong songs, and we might seem like we're anti-Paul because I haven't picked some great ones, you know, but there's so many of them. There's plenty of time for this, and before you know, we're going to be hating John, and we're going to be loving Paul. So stay tuned.
Stay tuned, everyone. This year is the year of Paul. Scotty C's just called it. He said last week it was the year of male crop tops, but now he's adding to that, saying it's the year of Paul. So I'm excited for both of these things.
They're both
I think
will
it's going to
happen.
be great.
Yes.
Becker, I think we did an Extrasode, man.
Did we do it?
I think we did. I think maybe. Do you want to take us home? Tell people where they can find us. I know we do have coming coming out next week, we got a new episode. I'm really excited about that one. We're breaking into the second year strong. Great guest. So stay tuned for that one. But without further ado, Becker.
A number of great guests coming up,
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I would just wrap this up to say, yet again, we talked about the anniversary already. So, but again, I appreciate every single person that's listened this far, that's even paying 1 ounce of attention to this list we're putting together. And that's been great. We've been getting texts, we've been getting some emails, getting some messages recently, and it's a lot of fun to react to. So thank you so much. Yeah, let's call this a chaser. Thanks again for listening. This was a very, very special episode of Blotto Beatles. I'm Becker. That was Tommy this evening. We are your co-hosts. This podcast is produced, edited, composed, and magically assembled by Scotty C. We have some additional music supervision and assistance from our friend and yours, RB. That B stands for Beatles. Check him out at Ryan O'Brooks and all of the socials. You can also check him out on an upcoming episode in just a couple of weeks. We are on all the socials. Please hit us up on at Blotto Beatles. We have a tip jar on the site. You guys feel like you want to buy us a beer or you have some thoughts on some cocktails we're drinking, drop a couple of shekels in there and let us know. Please remember, this show is performed by professionals. Enjoy Blotto Beatles responsibly wherever you listen. Don't forget to subscribe and rate us on your podcast app of choice. And most importantly, peace and love.
Peace and love.